Hi everybody. Hey. Hi, I'm Brooke Sobel from Heartland Vintage Market, and I think it's Saturday. None of us know what day it is right now, right? So I have an excuse. I'm going to be applying the new Vintage Seed Transfer to this window. And I think it's going to be a cute, sort of farmhousey, kind of fun, chipper, cheerful, colorful kitchen window type of thing. Hey everybody, say something, let me know you're here. And where are you watching from? I see a lot of shiny on my face. It's very warm here today in Boise, Idaho. And it's nothing like, you know, the heat I'm used to from Northern California, but that doesn't make it any less warm. It's warm. So anyway, hey everybody, you ready? We're gonna apply a transfer, and one of the things about what we're gonna do here today is, I know that sometimes people are not very comfortable cutting up transfers, and it's not gonna be a lot of cutting with this. This is gonna be kind of a little bit of a basic tutorial. But I have two portions of the window and also the transfer. One of the pieces I want is cut right down the middle. So I'm gonna show you how we're gonna work around that, okay? And line it up and come up with a fun, cheerful window. Okay, sound like fun? So here we go. All right, guys, again, this is the Vintage Seed Transfer. Hey, Robin. Let's see if I can get better light on you. Is it warm there? Yeah, it's starting to feel a lot like summer. Yeah, not even spring. Summer. All right. So I have all the new transfers. My name is Brooke, and I am a Redesign with Prima Brand Ambassador, and I'm a retailer. And so these new transfers all just came out yesterday. And they've been all very popular already, so yay, because it's fun. It's fun to play with transfers. So here's what this one looks like. It's in 3 pieces. I'll show you one piece at a time because I don't have 8 arms or anything. I'll check. Let's see. This is like the top one. Hey, Stacy. Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful. It was nice. It's just, I was like out in it, and then now it's like, I'm hot. Okay, so I really like this transfer because it's really versatile, and there's a lot of things that you can do with it. It's got that whole vintage vibe going, and you can use it all on one thing, or you can cut up each individual design element and use it on something separate. So you see this one with the, let's see, plums. It continues onto, let's see, I thought it was pears when I first looked at it, onto this page. So you see how it's cut? Some people get a little bit intimidated by that, but don't let it scare you. We can totally work with that and it's gonna look good, okay? So this is page 2. Look at the cherries one. How cute is that? So cute. I like these. They're super cute. Super cool, cute vintage vibe. This one's got that Victorian antique lady vibe. And like I said, you could use each one of these individually or however you want. So that makes this a really good value transfer and a fun one if you're more of a project person, more of like a crafter or small project person, is what I'm trying to say. Then, you know, a furniture person, then you, you know, have really clear guidelines on where to cut the transfer. Hey guys, y'all are awfully quiet today. What did you do today? What did I do today? Well, I went junking a little bit because here in Idaho, we're starting to open for business. Yay! And that meant some of the thrift stores have been open. So I did a little of that this morning, but I did a lot of it yesterday, so I was kind of pooped. Then I went to my shop space at the new booth I'm setting up in a store, and worked on that a little bit. I like this one a lot. That one's so cute. You love the cherry one? Yeah. So, you know, you may have your favorites. I know I have mine. Oh, sewing wear mask, Robin? What a trooper you are. What a contributor to society. Thank you, Robin. Robin is sewing masks in bulk and sending them. I'm sorry, Robin, I don't remember exactly. Was it, you're sending them to like hospitals and healthcare facilities? Sorry, I don't remember. Hi, Sandy. Okay, so for this window, I'm gonna use about half of this transfer, which is cool because that means I can use the other pieces for something else. So this is a basic antique vintage whatever window. It happens to be a frosted glass window. You don't see that very often. A privacy frosting. I didn't do that. It came like that. Oh, you didn't ask me to, Robin. I mean, I didn't want to presume anything. I did not realize you were offering to send me one. Thank you. I would love to have one. Someone else offered to send me one as well. Having two would not be a bad idea. So it's up to you. You're already working your fingers to the bone. The mask that I've been using is so gross. White paper, N95 mask. It's got all kinds of makeup on it. And it's just gross. And I look like I'm going into a world war when I wear that thing. So cute mask would be very, very, very welcome. Hi, Priscilla. I'm not sure. I've been super busy the last couple days. And I don't recall. All right, so I'm gonna save this one for later. So I'll get to use all these pieces on some other project, some other time. I'm super busy right now. I'm missing those first few days when we were all like totally quarantined and scared and like too scared to even like go to the grocery store. And anyway, binge watching TV and like, I don't have time for that right now. I miss those days. I want to binge watch. Okay, what am I gonna do? I think I'm gonna use the top two parts of this transfer. Can you guys see okay? Thank you, Robin. You're so sweet, kind. I'm going to use the top two parts and I'm going to save the bottom part for another project. So I'm literally using about half of this transfer. So if you're new to transfers, I'll do a little quickie overview for you. They do generally come in multiple pieces like this. The average one, sized one, comes in 3 pieces like this, but some of them are large and come in 6 pieces. So look at what you're ordering, check your measurements, and you may wonder why some of them cost more than others. It's because some of them are very, very large. I'm not aware of any current or newer redesign transfers that have less than 3, but they have had some in the past, so they may have some again in the future. Okay, so I'm going to put aside this one. Then what it is the transfer image is on this kind of clear plastic part here, okay? And then it's on a white backing paper. So the white is not going to show through, okay? So sometimes you'll see a black transfer and it's on a white backing paper and you might think it's black and white, but it's just black, okay? So remember, they've always got the white backing paper, okay? So what we're gonna do is, well, first I'm gonna cut it, okay? I'm gonna lay out my design because you see this is the bottom half of the plums, right? Here's the top half of the plums. So I'm going to cut straight across here, right? Because I'm going to use this section, but not this section on this piece. I think that's how I had it laid out. So I want just the bottom half. So first I'm just gonna cut a straight line across there. Thank you, Sandy. I need clothes. I have nothing but painting clothes and clothes that don't fit. Can anyone relate? All right, so here we go. I'm thirsty, man. I wish I had some water or something. So this is a really easy, simple one to cut because there's a nice fat white line there. And believe me, if anyone could screw up a simple cut like this, it would be me. I'm not very good at cutting like straight lines. But, you know, you've got to be very forgiving with yourself and just have fun and be okay with, you know, making mistakes, because we all do that. Yep. Girl, it is hard getting older, and you put the weight on, and you know, you keep thinking that day's gonna come when you're gonna take it off. Meanwhile, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this happens to be an amazing fit across the length. I'm like, one of the reasons it's freaking perfect. I chose this transfer and this window is because of that reason. So it does help if you think about and plan the size of your project and compare it with the size of your transfer and choose accordingly, okay? Then you have less work. So now I'm gonna cut another horizontal line right here and separate these two pieces, because this one's gonna go above on the top part of the window and this one's gonna go on the bottom part of the window. So I'm gonna end up with 3 strips. And so I have about 1 million orders still to process. Thank you guys for your orders, I appreciate it. A lot of times in this group, people say, where can I get these transfers? If you go to Redesign with Prima.com, there are 2 lists of retailers. There's one that is your local retailer, the nearest, you know, the one or ones nearest you. You know, if they're open or if they're offering like a curbside service or delivery or shipping. So you might try them. And then there's one for online only. And those are people who are online. And those are all the retailers that sell online. And so you have 2 different lists to choose from. Hi, Karen. And if you don't have a retailer, I would be happy to be your retailer if you're in the United States. And that is heartlandvintagemarket.com. And I have all the new ones in stock. Whoop, whoop. And some of the not new ones. Okay, so here we go. I wish I could tilt this table, but it's kind of locked. Where is it? Oh, maybe it's, I just got this killer antique, art drafting table. I wish you could see the whole thing because it's freaking awesome. I can tilt it pretty easily. Okay, cool. Yay! So I'm gonna do, now this strip isn't as high as this one. This one's gonna fill up more of the bottom window. And I'm okay with that. Like I already knew that. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So with that in mind though, I wanna think about my layout. And do I wanna put this one all the way at the bottom? Do I wanna center it in the middle? So I'm kind of thinking this one through here right now. Hey, this one says Sacramento River, California. I'm from the Sacramento area. I did not notice that before. Okay. Well, I think that I shall start with the bottom one. And then I'll put off my decision making on this one till later. All right, so that's all the cutting I'm going to do. So I'm going to start with the bottom piece of the plums, and I'm going to push it as close to the bottom as I can get it. Where did my transfer stick go? So the transfers come with this plastic, I don't know what it's made out of, not plastic, wood, chip, whatever, stick. It comes with the stick. And these are what you can use to rub the transfer. So you slowly peel the backing. And for those of you that have done this 100 times, I'm sorry, but I do like to explain what I'm doing for beginners, because you never know. There could be beginners watching that are really trying to understand this whole thing. And believe me, we've all been there, okay? Took me a while. So you're peeling the transferred image away from the white backing sheet very slowly and carefully. You don't want this part to roll onto itself. It'll stick on itself and get all, like, you can't use it, okay? So kind of slowly, carefully peel away your white backing paper. Then I usually just toss this on the floor, toss it aside, and I'll pick it up later, because my main concern right now is this bad boy, excuse me, and not letting it, you know, fold into itself, because this part's sticky, okay? This is the part that's gonna go down onto the window, okay? The white sticky part. Hi, Victoria. Okay, so now I'm going to pay attention to my project for a second and kind of center it and get it where I want it. As best I can. It's an almost perfect fit width-wise. Okay. Now once it touches the glass, that's it, baby. You can't move it. Once it touches the glass, it's on there. So don't try to reposition it, okay? Sometimes, when you're working with a painted surface and you lay it down, it doesn't grab onto the painted surface as much as it does the glass, so sometimes you can reposition them, but be very careful about doing that. For the most part, try to get it right the first time. Is mine perfect? Nah, it's about 98% close. So then I like to smooth it out, starting kind of in the middle and work it to the edges with my hands, kind of get it on there. Okay, so it's not going to shift when I start using the stick. That's where this comes in. Can you guys see okay? Glass and mirrors are not forgiving. So then you're just going to rub it with the stick. I usually like to start in the middle and kind of work toward the edges. You want to be careful when you get to the edges that you don't yank the plastic part back. So at this point, you're just rubbing it to transfer the image onto your surface. La la la, this is the part we can get to talk about something else. What should we talk about now? Yeah, so here in Idaho, and I just moved here 2 months ago from California, right before the outbreak. We have been fortunate in that we have been one of the states with, how do I say this, like the least amount of cases, I guess. And we are one of the few states to enter phase 1, and we entered phase 1 yesterday, and this sounds also sci-fi and like surreal. Anyway, so you know, I'm not exactly sure what that means as far as like what's open and what's not, but I know that their stores are open. Yay! And you know, a lot of retail, smaller retail stores are open. And I'm not sure if any of the larger retail stores are open yet or not, because I don't really go to them that often, so I, you know, haven't really paid that close attention, but it's only been 2 days, a day and a half. So you want to make sure and you just get every little, you know, every little square inch, every little bit, corners, edges, especially, okay, with your stick. And then you can slowly start peeling it up. And as you're peeling it up, just watch to see if any of it is still sticking to the plastic, okay? If it's not, then you did a great job. If it is, you still might have done a good job, but for whatever reason, it's just not transferring. So if it is still sticking to the plastic, And well, see, now I've butted up against the edge of the window, so that part's sticking to the plastic, and that's fine, because that's just the window. So that's what that is. So peeling it off, and it's coming off nice and clean, super, super clean. Easy peasy. Ooh, I love it. These things are so great on glass. It feels like it's sticking a little here, so I'm just gonna kind of go like this, and maybe that'll stop sticking. Super, super, super smooth and easy. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, on to the next part. Same thing. I'm sorry, Sandy. I know that most places are still on lockdown. I know. And I really am sorry for you. I'm sorry for everybody, because this whole situation just sucks. But what are you going to do? So again, peeling away the white part. So the store that I'm going into has been undergoing some renovations, and so we're going to open up on Thursday, and I'm brand new in that store. Okay, so I'm going to line up this. I want to make sure you can see, because this is where a lot of people kind of stress out. Sorry, hang on. It's a little bit too much of me there. Oh, great. So I just knocked into my tripod and lost a little bit of the transfer right here. Okay? Because I let it brush against my tripod. So, you know what that means? That means I'm going to distress this transfer, the sandpaper, and it'll look like I did it on purpose. Okay, so I'm just gonna, so it's really simply concentrating, looking at your lines, and doing your best to line them up. That's that simple, okay? Match your design elements. Like I've got some peaches, or plums, not peaches. They look like peaches. I've got some strawberries, and I wanna just try my best. If it's easier for you, you can cut the transfer. But I'm kind of deep into it here now, and I'm just going to go for it. You know what? This one would really be easier to cut. So I'm going to turn it upside down, and very carefully, I'm going to cut right down the white lines, because that's a long strip to line up right there. And since these do have sections, I think that's a good opportunity just to go ahead and get a little bit more precise. Just be careful with your transfer. Don't let it touch anything else like I did. And now I can just really focus on these plums. Line them up good. Usually I'm much quicker at it, but because I'm live, I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. I gotta line them up good. But I did. I lined them up good. So now I'll just go ahead and sort of push that one down a little bit and get it on there. And I'll cut down the center of my second one. Again, be very careful. If you're new at transfers, it may not be a great idea to hand them like this. If you've been doing them a while, hopefully this little thing that I'm doing will, be helpful for you. Just don't, touch the transfer other than the plastic part. I can't see. Oh, I see what's going on there. Okay. So you don't have to do this. This is just helping me line it up more precise. So it's just like a little tip. If it makes sense. It depends on the design of the transfer, okay? Whew, stressful. So again, just being very careful and only handling the edges. Yes, you can also paint. I could also, that would be an option, absolutely. Good comment, Stacy. Where I accidentally hit it with the tripod, if I didn't want to distress the transfer, oh, this is the one on the end, then I could use any kind of paints really, and just kind of use a very fine artist paintbrush and fill in those spots. Strawberries, strawberry wine, strawberry wine. Okay, and I'm just kind of lightly getting it on there so it doesn't move. And now I'm kind of wishing I would have taken this whole piece and bumped it up a little, but that's okay. Whoops. You know, we get so critical of ourselves, and there's often things we wish we would have done in retrospect, but that's some kind of wasted energy. And it's also, it's good to learn from that, you know. But no matter what, how many you've done, how, you know, professional you are or may think you are, you're always going to make mistakes. You're always going to wish you did some things differently. You're going to have times when your outcome is not what you wanted. That's life. That's creation. Creating. Not creation. Creating. All right. So I already peeled the plastic back on this bottom one, which, so I just kind of want to be careful not to go beyond the edge here. Thank you, Robin. It's gotten smaller over the last couple of years. I used to like it too, but now it's actually too short. It really did shrink in the dryer. Too short, or not in the dryer, but in the wash. I don't think I dried it. I shouldn't have washed it apparently because it really got short. So, bummer. But I'm going to go clothes shopping soon. There's actually, there's a store over here. It's like a hardware store, and it has a cute little boutique, kind of Western-ish, and t-shirts. And I mean, I pretty much have a very casual style for the most part. Hanging clothes, t-shirts, strawberry wine. Doo, doo, doo. Da, 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 da. This one's got some air bubbles in it. I can hear them snap, crackling, and popping, which just means I should have taken a little more time setting it down, like from the middle, and pushed it out. But it's gonna be fine. So what that means is like pretend this one is, it's kind of like go like that down the middle, then use your hands and kind of push it out. So I kind of just set this one down, and it had little tiny air bubbles, but working them out with the transfer tool is a good thing. I hear you, girl. I hear you. I mean, even my, you know, like my car seat shrunk. Everything shrunk. I was doing really good for a while with exercise, but then I just got so busy. And then when you're so busy, you feel like, okay, the exercise can go on the back burner, you know. I've got to just do this. I've got to finish this. Blah blah blah. You give yourself all kinds of excuses. I miss going to a gym. I actually haven't really been a regular at a gym in a little while, but I used to be. I have been on and off all my life, and I do like Zumba a lot. What do you guys like to do for exercise? I have no plans. I'm wishing I would have centered the transfer in the window but I didn't. So instead, I will have to just, I don't know what. And I also have to figure out how I want to center this one. You know, one way, and what I'll probably do is, if you paint the back of the window, paint the back side of the window. Let me finish pulling this one off and I'll show you. That can hide flaws on windows. So that's kind of a fun idea sometimes. And also, you know, when I prop it up, I'll be able to see how bad it is or how not bad it is, you know. Zoom back. Paint it. And yoga. Oh, I used to do this boot camp class. Oh my God, that thing would, I wouldn't be able to do it anymore. I'm just like too old. It hurts. So it's just peeling some of the paint back from the window. If you're seeing this white, that's all that is. Just peeling some of the paint from the window. So I'm just gonna peel this back. And I did a good job lining that up. And then the next one is actually a separate sheet. Strawberry wine. I just scratched it with my fingernail. Now these transfers really release very, very easily. I feel like I want to distress this one anyway. And you know, it's a really good idea to go with the flow and let the project evolve as you go along and be willing to kind of change some things up, unless of course you're doing a custom piece for a customer. But for instance, as I'm, you know, seeing this develop, let's see. I'm seeing like, now I haven't burnished it yet, I'm going to show you about that, but kind of some rough spots. I didn't think the white was going to transfer over. Okay, the white is part of the transfer. That's interesting. I thought it was just going to end at the border. Okay, so there's a little white border around this one. I guess that's good to know. So because of that, I am going to distress this with some sandpaper and just a little bit and kind of work on blending it all together a little bit. And was I planning on doing that originally? No. But like I said, you got to kind of just go with the flow, let things happen organically. Hi, Marianne. So with that said, where am I going to put this one? You know what? Rather than do that, I think what I'll do is I'll burnish this. And you know what? I'm going to grab a piece of sandpaper and show you how I distress. Rather than just do that section just yet. This is a little piece of what is called a finishing pad. This particular one is from, well, I get them through Dixie Belle Paint because I'm a retailer for Dixie Belle Paint. And I cut them into smaller pieces. So this one looks like it's maybe a fourth of one. And it's called a finishing pad. And it's just kind of a gentle, non-abrasive thing. If you don't have one of these, you can use like a gentle, non-abrasive, clean, newer kitchen sponge. Just a regular sponge. People use all kinds of things. But the whole idea of this, and I can even actually see some tiny little air bubbles, is to get rid of the air bubbles and just, boy, I wish I could do a close-up of that. Okay, I'm gonna try something, you guys. I want you to see something because this is very rare. I hardly ever get air bubbles. I'm gonna see if I can do a close-up. Do you see on the plum? Looks like little sunburn blisters. Those are air bubbles. So I think this transfer may be a little more prone to air bubbles because I noticed I had some over here on this side too. All right, or it could just be me. All right, so air bubbles are no good if you're going to be sealing with a sealer, like if you're doing furniture. these can cause problems with your sealer getting underneath the air bubbles and then lifting your transfer. So you never want air bubbles. So in order to get rid of the air bubbles, that's where this, oh God, don't look at my nails, please. I slammed my thumbnail in a cupboard and it kind of got really gross. So I'll try not to show you that part. Okay, so when you go like this, watch what happens to the air bubbles. They're almost like pimples. So they go away. And you want to do that with everything that you apply a transfer to. It's gonna, there's more air bubbles here. It's gonna help the transfer just stick better, and it's gonna prevent any lifting, especially if you plan on doing a sealer. There's some tiny little air bubbles here. So I burnish everything I do with the transfer. And then it also helps to get, it sort of helps with this line that goes across where the transfer was cut. But since I'm going to be using sandpaper on this piece, I don't worry about that too much because I'm going to distress it. But this does help with that little, helps kind of blend the line in better. Do you see that? Takes a little work. Doesn't always. This is black, and it's going to show that more. So here, where the edges, where I cut them crooked, because I didn't think the white was part of the transfer, it's really important to burnish these. Yeah, it's like magic, right? So I still see some air bubbles. Do you see them? Right here. So, what's up with that? Lots of air bubbles. Probably because when I go live, it's a lot harder for me to really pay attention on what I'm doing, but I don't know. And I'm pressing extra hard to get these air bubbles out, knowing that it's okay if I accidentally distress this a little bit, because I'm going to distress it a lot. But this also, like I said, it helps blend in the lines. And if you're not going to be distressing the piece, just be a little more gentle than I'm being. Okay, is this close-up helpful? What am I using? This is called a finishing pad. This is just a small piece of one. I sell these on my website, heartlandvintagemarket.com. I have the transfers. I carry Dixie Belle paint. I carry all, well, not all, but I carry a lot of the Redesign products. Redesign with Prima molds and transfers. All the new transfers are out now, available to purchase. And the finishing pad is available to purchase on my site as well. This is a really cute transfer. It is. Okay, now, let me see if there's any air bubbles here. I'm not really seeing any more, so that's good. The plum one had some. So anyway, so that burnishing process, you guys, is really important, and you just saw why. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna put it back on the tripod. I hope that close-up was helpful. And I'm going to grab some sandpaper. I wasn't planning on this, so I'm sorry I'm not prepared. Because like I said, I wasn't planning on distressing it, but now I know I'm going to. I might as well show you how I do it. So if you'll bear with me like 5 seconds, hopefully I have some right here, okay? Hopefully. Don't go away. Well, I almost just fell. That would have been entertaining. Oh, I hope I have some sandpaper here. Okay. Strawberry wine. Well, I don't have sandpaper handy, but I have a sanding sponge, and it's a newer one. It's kind of coarse, so I think that this one will hopefully do the job. You do want to be kind of careful when you're distressing a transfer. Once you distress it too much, it's too late to go back and fix it. I mean, it's not impossible. You can do hand painting, but ain't nobody want to do that, right? Thanks, Joy. These are like 5 pairs for $15 on Amazon. They're just readers, but they're not bad. If you gotta wear the little readers, and I lose them all the time, so cheap is good. Hi, Blaine. But thank you, Joy. Okay, so this is a sanding sponge. Get these at Home Depot, Amazon. I like this one's from Home Depot the best. This is 3M, and this one happens to be medium. See where it says med? This is a medium grit, and this happens to be a new one. And I'm just gonna kind of go gently at first, and then sort of determine how much pressure I want to put on it. And again, there's a few reasons I'm distressing it. One is when I was applying my transfer, I decided to adjust my tripod at the same time, and now I have a little tiny strip of transfer on my tripod that belonged right here. So that was my first indication that I'll probably distress it. Then the second was I cut down the middle because I didn't think the white lines were going to show in this transfer, but I was wrong. So now I have to, you know, do something to fix it. AKA, go with the flow. So I'm going to just distress it, and I might need, usually I use sandpaper, but I'm not in my workshop right now, and I would just kind of go a little harder. But I think this will work if I give it enough pressure. But anyway, it's a super cute transfer. It really is. I think it's going to make a cute window. Like just a cute little farmy, because I almost don't even want to say farmhouse, but farmy, kind of country-ish, fun, vintage vibe window. And this is good. This distressing is just distressing it little bits. I love it. Now, a common question is, will I seal it? So, I wish there was just a really simple way to answer that. The simplest way to answer that, will I seal this, is no. Because typically, you don't want to put any sealer over glass because it's going to make the glass look cloudy, okay? So typically, no. However, if your transfer covers the whole glass area completely, then you can seal it. But what you don't want is any transfer on the glass. Does that make sense, I hope? So also, as I'm distressing this, it's kind of easing the line where I didn't line it up quite perfectly. I did pretty good, but not. It's the kind of thing you're your own worst critic about usually. Some people get really, really irritated if they don't line up perfectly. I'm just not. I just don't. I don't like it. Like, I could have definitely lined that one up better. And I like the way it's distressing though. Do you? So let me kind of wipe it off here a little bit. But what I will do is take a damp towel, not super wet, but just slightly damp when I'm done distressing, and wipe off the sand dust, right? And that will bring the vibrancy and color. Oh, sorry, the sun is right on this piece. I didn't notice that. Sorry. Let me see if I can switch the blinds up here. Is that better? Sorry about that. Shimmy. But I really like it distressed. I think it adds to it. And I wish I had a damp towel here so I could show you how it brings the vibrancy of the colors back out. So I don't like this harsh lines going across the top. Just kind of want to distress those a little. But like I said, usually I would use sandpaper and just go very, very carefully. This is working pretty good though. Yeah, my line is getting more noticeable the more I sand it. Boo. Hi, Regina. How are you? Okay, I wish I had stamp rag here. Do I have anything like that? Nope. So, this one, I'm not going to do that cutting again. I don't know, maybe I will cut it because then it'll match the bottom more. What did I do last time? I'm trying to remember. Oh, that's because I had to line it up. That's why I cut it. Okay, so I'm thinking out loud, okay? So hopefully that's helpful because then you can hear my thought process. So I cut these transfers so because they were in two different sheets, and in order to line them up closer, I felt like I would have a hard time lining it up when it was all one big long one, so I cut it. But this one, it's not cut this way, so I don't have to line anything up. So all I have to do is decide where I want it. And I think I have to stand up and kind of look back a little bit at this. I think I want it just up a little bit so that we've got some glass here and some glass here. Let me shift my table a little bit more again here. Oh, wrong way. I like this table, man. It was kind of a splurge, but I was like, I have to have this antique drafting table. Okay, this one's gonna go, yeah, like that. And then, I don't know, might just be happy with it just the way it is. You know, like, it is what it is. It's not like a masterpiece work of art or anything. It's just a picture window. That's all. So I'm gonna try to get the middle, where those pears are, to lay down a little bit first, and then kind of work the ends out this way. But first I have to sort of figure out where I want it, and I do have to, I don't want it to be crooked, so I always eyeball. I don't measure or mark or anything like that. Okay, so now the pears touched down, right? So now I cannot move them. Once that's done, that's it. Now I can push this part out this way and push this part out this way, and hope that my line here is reasonably straight. I mean, certainly there are more accurate ways of getting a straight line, but that's not how I do things. So, all right. That's cool though. I like it. And you know, as I said, as you progress through a project, if something, you know, you don't like something, then you have to figure out at that point, okay, what am I going to do with it now? You know, like, but I haven't decided if I like it or not yet, like, because I'm not done with laying down the transfer. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to wipe off this with a damp towel, and then I'm going to take a step back and look at it, you know, and distress this part and decide, is there anything else? So what would I possibly do? Well, if you paint the back of the window, then that can sometimes help camouflage areas, you know, by just giving it a background. Like, let's say I chose a yellow, okay? So instead of it being clear glass, here, it would be yellow. It'd be like it was on purpose, right? And it'd be yellow up here, and it would be yellow here. So painting the back of the glass is an option. Like, maybe I could pull this color out or something like that. Maybe I'll do that. That could be really pretty. What else? I mean, you could put molds if you want to get really fancy. What other ideas do you guys have? Let me throw it out there to you. There's 38 of you and only one of me. So I threw out one idea about painting the back. What ideas do you guys have? Or, you know, what have you done? Or what do you think might work? If you didn't like the clear glass, what might you do? There's no wrong answers. It is, Trisha. Isn't this unique? It's a frosted glass from a vintage window, and you don't often see the frosted glass. And I just was, I mean, it's little. It's kind of little for a window, and I just think it's super cute. I like it, but you know, you can create frosted glass by spraying frosted glass spray on the back, but it's never quite as authentic looking as when it's real authentic. You like the yellow idea? You think? Think, Karen? Okay, well, yeah, I think I'm starting to like that idea too, you know? And you don't have to just like paint this way. You can take like a sponge, like a, what you call it, sea sponge. Sea sponges are those kind of tan color things that look a little bit like coral, but they're sponges. And, you know, turn it over and you can sponge it on the back. Like, and then you could do like even 2 colors and then just kind of blend it a little bit so that it's not, right? So I probably will do that because I think I'm starting to like that idea. It sounds like you guys like that idea. So I'll just like blot it with sea sponge, and if I don't have a sea sponge, I'll just use a regular sponge of some sort, or a rag, a towel, just so I'm not painting straight across. So it will have more of a natural look. I think the yellow would be really pretty if I pull out one of the colors from the pair. Or even maybe, you know, like a farmhouse green, or an orange. But no, I think the yellow. My first instinct. See, sponge. Yes, sponge, not solid. Yes. I've been live a long, long time, long time, long time. I've been live a long, long time. Do 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 do. Bum, 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 bum. Beans how, love my English. This one had a lot of air bubbles. I'm going to work a little harder on this one up front. See if I can reduce air bubbles when I go to pull off the transfer. Window is making me a little bit nervous right here. Gosh, this transfer is so cute. Now, what's really cool too is I'm only using about half of it. This is one transfer. This is not an extra large one. I have still all of these pieces, and I can use them on individual projects. Oh my God, they're really cute. They're so vibrant too in their colors, and just so retro. Super fun. I can't wait to figure out. I don't do a lot of small projects. I do a lot of windows because I just seem to get my hands on them and I know what to do with them. Love this one. But I have a hard time doing small projects. I mostly do furniture, but when I see these, they make me want to do a small project. What would you like to put these on? How about a mirror? I think a mirror would be fabulous. Is that what you mean? Like, would you put one of these on a mirror? It's gonna stick just like the it did to the window, just like boom. Sticks great. Strawberry wine. Do, do, do. I'm just gonna keep on going. Da, 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 da. 'Cause there's nothing else for us to do. Let's see this through. Uh-oh, she's losing it. She's losing it. These are adorbs. Freaking adorable. So cute. Every little one. Help me figure out what to use the rest on. Trays. Trays. It's a good idea. I usually like to pull from left to right, and so I don't know why I started pulling on that end. So this is just pulling some of the white, you can't even see it, off the window itself, the paint. So peel it back slowly, make sure that your transfer sheet, the plastic is coming up clean. If it's not, if part of it is stuck to the sheet, then just put your sheet back down and go over it. Usually happens a lot. This is a really clean transfer. It's just boom, coming right on up there. Plus they stick to glass so well. Do you want to see the other new transfers? I'm sorry, I have my back to you. Glass jars. Oh, spray mirror on the back, Linda. That's what you meant. Okay, I wondered about that. Yes, you could absolutely spray. So I think it's Rust-Oleum that makes a mirror spray. I have some. And you can spray that on the back and give it a mirror-like finish. And there's also sort of a mercury glass effect you can do, but I can't exactly remember what the steps are. But it has to do with like you spray. There's multiple steps. Kristen Min is the one that showed us all how to do it. Black spray paint, mirror effects, and frost, I think. So see how this is like perfect? I don't like that. I like it much better distressed. I'm going to show you something. Stay tuned. Please don't go. This is for you. Hang on, hang on. Don't go, don't go. I have to show you how it brightens up a little when we take a damp towel. So to get the dust off. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm done distressing, because I'm not. I feel like I want to distress some more. But at least now you can see how the, it's not quite as bright as when you don't distress it, that's for sure. But it definitely brightens up when you wipe the dust off. Absolutely, Marion. Thank you for asking. Let's see, there was another question. Make a flower container out of an old gallon paint can. Oh my gosh, I love that, with a wire handle. Now, where can I get an old gallon paint can? I love that idea so much. That'd be so cute. These things would be adorable out in the garden. Cool. Spray 50-50 water and vinegar. Spray. Oh, is that for the mercury glass? Look, is that, I hadn't heard that part, and that may not be what you're talking about. Oh, you want to see the distressed? Yes. And I'll show you how it looks distressed versus not distressed. Okay. So, did we get, oh, I see what happened there. Ta-da! Okay, gosh, these are so pretty. So I really like it not distressed, but not like all lined up. Like if I was doing one single project, it'd be nice to have all that vibrancy. That's what it looks like, not distressed on the glass. But on the glass, here I distressed it. I feel like I want to brighten it up with something. Some sealer. But if you do put a little sealer, just be careful not to get the sealer up here in the glass part. But I kind of feel like I could take a sponge and very lightly wipe some sealer on here, and it would bring out the colors more. I think I might try that. So that's distressed. My line is terrible. It wasn't that bad until I started distressing it, and then it really showed up. So what can I do about that? I can take paints, and I probably will, just a little bit of paint, and at least fill in the more obvious areas, right? With just, I'll just use my Dixie Belle paints, and tiny little bit, mix some colors as needed. Do a little bit here, and because that's kind of a pretty obvious line, and I'm not digging it. So a little yellow, This one's not too bad, but right here, maybe just a little, got my hands close up. Ugh. So that's how you fix that. I don't know. That's okay. It doesn't bother me so much. And this crackling. So anyway, I do like the vibrancy here. I wish I had some sealer handy and I could show you right now, but my sealer's in my workshop. Or do I? Uh-oh, what did I, you love imperfections? That is so awesome. Well, hello, Karen. Good morning to you. And Karen's saying good morning because she's in Australia. That's right, right? That's cool. You guys are embracing the line and the imperfections. But what I'm not digging, and I kind of want to blend that just because it's so easy. Those little cheap brushes and a little tiny bit of paint. And then when that dries, kind of sand it a little bit. But what I'm not digging is the vibrancy is what I want back. I might have some sealer handy. What if I step away from the camera one more time? One more time. I'm not sure. I might have some right here. Let me check. Let me check. Oh my gosh, I do. Oh, here I come. Stay with me. Stay with me. Oh, stay with me. Okay, so I don't usually put sealer over glass, but like I said, if you're careful not to get it, like over the top part and just try to get it on the transfer part, it'll be fine. I'm not worried about the little distressy parts because overall, the piece is not gonna be picture perfect like this, okay? I'll probably paint the back and I'm deciding right now if I want satin or flat. I think that either one of them would work to bring out. Oh, I'm gonna go satin. So I'm just seeing this project through, aren't I? Except for the painting of the back part, because this is not a painting group. This is a Redesign with Prima group. But as we're working on the transfers, I think it's quite all right to do a little sealer. So this is a Dixie Belle clear coat in satin, and I think the lid will be on too tight. Oh, no. And I'm just going to dab a little tiny bit on my blue sponge and see what happens if it makes it a little bit more vibrant. Maybe a little. Let's try this side because that's where it's the most like dull. Hi, Redesign with Prima. Okay, I know I've been on a long time. Is that a problem at all? Roz or whoever's moderating. Yeah, it did bring some of the color back out a little bit, so that's good. Just a little bit. Okay. And I'll post pictures of this when I'm done after I paint the back, so you can see. And I will, there's couple areas here that are bugging me where the line is in here. And I'm gonna fix that. And I'm gonna distress the heck out of this one because it's way too perfect compared to this one, right? So, a couple lessons I learned today that I will share with you that you may have learned. This particular transfer is freaking cute. That's lesson number one. But I thought that when I cut down the middle, that part would be translucent and it wouldn't show. I was wrong. The white part in the middle shows, okay? So, do cut more straight, better lines than I did. Because I cut this one and I didn't realize it, the line will show. So cut a nice straight line. That will be helpful. If you don't get a straight line, like I didn't, then you can sort of distress. You can just focus on distressing the edges a little. You're very welcome, Mary. You know, if you don't want to distress the whole thing, you can just take some sandpaper. At that point, you really need a little piece of sandpaper and just distress around the lines and the edges to sort of soften them up if you don't cut a good line, okay? If you do like I did and you're holding the transfer and you go oops, and you hit your tripod with it or whatever, and some of it now adorns your tripod and you get a big line like that, that's when you can say, okay, well, do I want to paint that and fill it in, or will I just go ahead and distress it? And at that moment, I decided just to go ahead and distress it. Then, if you distress it, it does take some of the vibrancy out of the color of the transfer. Roz, what I asked was, I've been going live a really long time, and I was asking if that's a problem at all. I'm wrapping it up right now anyway, so anyway, lost my train of thought. Okay, so after I distressed it, it kind of took some of the vibrancy out of the color, and I was like, boo. So I just sponged on a little bit of clear coat. I used Dixie Belle clear coat in satin, and I was just kind of careful just to sponge it on real lightly and not get around this glass part. Well, quite honestly, it's not going to make that big a difference because this piece is going to end up funky, and it's got frosted glass anyway. But normally if you have like clear glass, like you don't want to put your top coat over the clear glass, okay? So I just put it on the transfer piece parts only, and I'll do the same with here. Then, so yeah, I still have to, you know, like distress and work this part to match this part better. But you don't have to. And also I haven't burnished this, and I showed you air bubbles earlier. Did you all see the air bubbles? Oh, thanks, Ross. And how I got them out. And that was with the pad that I dropped and has rolled away somewhere. But you want to be sure and get all the air bubbles out by burnishing it with a little finishing pad. Or if you're going to be distressing it, you could actually skip that step and go straight to the distressing, because it's going to do the same thing. It's going to get all the air bubbles out. And yeah, I'll want to get some sandpaper and be a little bit more precise with my sanding around these edges and stuff. Okay, then I think that what I will do next is, based on my original idea and the thought that you guys thought it was a good idea, is I'll turn the window over. It's frosted glass, that's why it looks like this. And I'll sponge on some yellow paint, and I'll probably sponge on 2 different colors of yellow so it's not too stark. And I'll sponge it on, and I'll kind of blend it a little bit like this, so it doesn't look like, you know, painted lines. So it kind of looks a little bit cloudy, like a couple different colors of yellow. Hi, I'm sorry. I don't know how to say your name. Lucia Quayle, whose last name is the same as the artist of the piece of art I bought yesterday. What a trip that was, right? So I went junking yesterday. I got this gorgeous piece of artwork, and unknown artist, her last name is Quayle, just like Lucia. Anyway, yes, that's what I'll do. And it's going to be cute little kitcheny kind of farmy kind of piece, but I think I need to do a lot more distressing. Okay, boys and girls, I think it's going to be cute. Oh, don't forget, if you want to get this transfer or any of the transfers, oh, I was going to show you the new transfers. I don't know if you want to see them. I have maybe all of them right here, but if you don't want to see them, obviously you can just log off. HeartlandVintageMarket.com. I'll show you a little closer. You've all seen this one by now about 100 times, right? Blossom Flight. Here. I'll do a little close up. So in case you would like to see the new transfers close up, might as well open them up. So I'll be doing some projects with them. I'll just show you, like one piece of each one. Because there's kind of a little bit of difference between seeing it on a project and seeing it by itself. Strawberry wine. Why is that song in my head? 'Cause there was a strawberry in the transfer. So again, the backing sheet is pure white. So the bird design is all that's going to show through the bird and the branches and stuff, obviously. Oh, like the island, Santa Lucia, Saint Lu. See, I don't know how to pronounce the island. Oh my God, Saint Lucia. Is that kind of it? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna, I think I need to wrap this up. So let me just do a little quickie here. Violet Hill. This is a big one. That's what it looks like on their little white dresser. This is what it looks like against a black background. This is gorgeous. This is one of the big 6-sheet ones. We've got this Saltwater Life, little fishy, fishy fish. It's actually pretty cute. I'm not quite sure how or when or where I'll use it, but I will eventually on something. Now this one's really cute. I think I'm going to do a window with this one. Fungi Forest. Mushrooms and, I don't know, weeds and vegetables. Lucia. Okay, is that it? Lucia? St. Lucia. Well, I wasn't even close with any of my guesses, was I? Is that right, Lucia? Flower collection. This one's in English, guys. Lucia Quayle. Wonders Floral. Super Vibrant, this one. I'll probably cut that one up and do some, yay! Thank you, Roz, and thank you, Lucia. Lucia, thank you. Thank you, Roz. Paris Valley. This is actually a really pretty black one. A little Frenchy. Let's see. It's hard to get a real good close up. Architecture. This is another one of the big 6-sheet ones. This is pretty specific design. A little more masculine, I guess. Lucia. And that's, can you see my window in the background? That's the bird transfer. Why can't I remember the name of it? Because there's too many things to remember in life. I just did this one. I'm still kind of working on it a little bit, but what I really like about this one is when there's light coming from behind, which there's not right now, it really kind of shines brightly. You can see my hand, it's semi-translucent. This is one I painted the back of the window, like I was just talking about doing, with the kind of sponge method. And I also sprayed it with frosted glass spray because this was a clear window. So I got a little blue in there, a little white, and a little frosted glass spray to create the back blossom flight. Thank you. To create the background for this one. And I need to do something with the frame, a little more distressing or something, and a chain and hang it up. Okay, you guys. Oh my God, that was the longest live ever. No, not ever, because I do long lives. That was a really long one. All right, guys. Hey, I'm Brooke, Heartland Vintage Market. Follow me on Facebook. Sign up for my emails. Website, heartlandvintagemarket.com. Thank you, and I want to see your windows when you're done. I hope you've learned something, and maybe I inspired at least a little. Later, you guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.